So good morning once again, everyone. I can see that more people have joined, so we'll just continue and allow for more people to join the session as we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today's session promises to be another very insightful and educative one. Like I said earlier, my name is Omotayo Akinwumi. I'm the Business Support Officer here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And here at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, what we aim to do is to provide access to finance and capacity building opportunities for business owners here in Lagos State. And how do we do that, you may ask. Thank you, Emily K, for confirming that you can hear me loud and clear. So how do we provide access to finance, you may ask? So what we do is we give out loans in three different categories to business owners here in Lagos State. Our loan categories falls under our MES, our ME, and our SME loans. The ME being the micro enterprise, the MES being the enterprise startup, and the SME being small and medium scale enterprise. So if you fall under any of these categories for the MES, for those that have acquired a skill and would like to, start up their own business but lack the funds, you have a vocational training certificate and you'd like to apply for a loan under this category, you can walk into any local government close to you. Our loans are single digits, which is 9% per annum, and you have an opportunity to apply for our loans. Currently, our loan portal is closed, but you can follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We are Lagos State Employment Trust Fund on all of these platforms. Turn on your post notifications so that as soon as our portal is reopened for the loan, you can go ahead to apply, or you can walk into any local government close to you to apply for a loan. So if you fall all under the micro enterprise, your business is registered and you've been running your business for at least a year. You can walk into our local government, you get access to 50,000 to 500,000. And if your business is registered, you have your CAC, you have your team, you can walk into any of our local government to apply. You can get as much as from 501,000 to 5 million naira. So that is what is on offer for our loan programs. Then we have our capacity building opportunities where the business support unit is in charge of, such as the one that you're having today. We have our master classes, our webinars, we have our master classes, webinars, we have our MSME bootcamp, which is currently ongoing. So if you are within Ekwe and its environs and you'd like to benefit from our MSME bootcamp, it's a program that has been designed for small and medium scale businesses to acquire the necessary skills that they need to help scale their businesses. So if you'd like to acquire skills, you'd like to acquire the necessary knowledge needed for your business, you can go ahead and apply for our MSME bootcamp. We'll be having our next cohort in Ekpe. So if you're in Ekpe and you'd like to benefit from this, you can go ahead and apply for our MSME bootcamp. We also give provide access to market opportunities for business owners in Lagos State. We also provide free business registration. So if you have your businesses and they're not yet registered, we provide free business registrations for business owners in Lagos State. We have our employability unit that are in charge of providing trainings to, if you're within the ages of 18 to 35 and you'd like to acquire training in fashion designing, you would like to acquire training in the beauty space, you like to acquire training in construction and the likes, this is where our employability unit comes in. We also have our Lagos Innovates team. This is for those that are in the tech space. You have taken budding tech ideas. Our Lagos Innovate teams helps you with mentors that would help you, build on these ideas. You are in need of a workspace to work with. We have our workspace vouchers provided by our Lagos Innovate team. So these are the programs on offer here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So you can follow us on all social media platforms, like I said earlier, at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So we have brought here today one of our very own partners at Awaba, Madam Yemisi, and she'll be taking us through today's session. That will be speaking on managing your mental health and overcoming burnout as a business owner here in as a business owner in general. So you'll be learning about the various steps and the various these 5 C's that you need to know about in managing stress and your mental health as a business owner here, as a business owner as a whole. So I will be leaving the floor now for Madam Yancy to take over. And so while we do that, please be on the lookout for the Q&A box. So as soon as she's done with her presentation, the Q&A box is there for you to please drop your questions. If you have questions that you need to ask, you can drop your questions in the Q&A box. And once it's time for the Q&A, she will be will be asking questions, and Madam MC will be there to provide you answers for every single question that you might have concerning today's session. Today, like I said earlier, today's session promises to be a very insightful and a very exciting one. So get your writing materials ready. And for those that might want to go back to learn more about all that we're spoken to today, or you can go to our YouTube channel to, rewatch this session and, gain more insight on today's session. So Madam Yemisi, please, you can take it away, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's good to be here. Please confirm that you can all hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear,
Oh,
ma'am. You can go ahead.
good. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be here. And I'm happy that we have business owners who are willing to learn and get clarity about their mental health. My name is Yemisi, as I've been introduced earlier, and I'm the VP at Alba. Right. I'm just going to dive right into it. We're going to start with the 5 C's framework of mental health, so there won't be burnout, right? And the first C is clarity. The first C is clarity, and for you to start a business in itself, it means that you have clarity. It means that you know the nitty-gritty of the sector you want to go into, and you have done your visibility study. I mean, with an institution like LSCT, I can be rest assured that you've been guided through how to start these businesses. The first thing is to know your why. Why do you want to do the business? If you would not be paid, will you still be in this business? Right? Reconnect. I mean, if you don't know this already, you need to go back and reconnect to your purpose, right? Know why you are in that business. What do you stand to gain from it? If you are not doing this today, what else will you still be doing? Right? What do you have the passion for? Be sure that you have tied your passion to what you are doing currently. And after that is for you to set clear goals. This also still falls under the first C, which is the clarity. You have to set clear goals and prioritize to avoid mental clutter, right? Prioritize what is important for your business as a business owner. Because as business owners, we tend to look at organizations or entities or businesses alike who have gone further or done better things than us. So it's better for you to set clear goals and prioritize what's important for your business to avoid mental clutter. Avoid mental clutter when you are at work or when you are at your business. You want to do things that matters to your business. I do understand that it's not easy to put aside our personal lives and our personal activities when we're at our business, but it's important that we're able to declutter and separate the both. I mean, the best way to go about this is to create times and schedule for, like, for the formal sector now, there's a 9 to 5. You know that between the hours of 9 to 5, you do your office work. Then after the working hours, you can go back to your personal activities. I think it should also be the same way for people in businesses and for business owners too. You have to prioritize and declutter. When it's time to take the next activity, then we take it. Another thing under clarity is to say no when it's necessary. Please let us be okay to say no. Be okay to say no. It is not, I mean, it's not every business that comes your way that is good for you. Say no when necessary. Eliminate unnecessary commitment. For example, as a business owner who is a caterer, for example, you know that the timeline for your delivery as a caterer is 24 hours notice. But because you want more businesses and the customer is coming and saying that, oh, we want this to be delivered in 2 hours. Of course, you know that for you to be able to achieve that, you're going to put yourself under unnecessary stress. And it might not really add up in terms of the mental stress it is going to put you through. So, I mean, be okay to say no, have policies, have organizational policies and rules that will guide your activities of the organization. Hope we are clear. Please begin to put down your questions and answer. After the session, we can take them. The second thing is to have control. I mean, by this, I mean, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control in your businesses. Do not bite more than you can chew. A lot of organizations that we see today started small. It's okay to start small. It's fine to start small. In fact, it is very good to start small, because from there you will learn the nitty-gritty of the business. Focus on what you can control. Your time, your energy, and your responses should be focused and tailored on that. This will really help your mental health as a business owner. Another thing that you can do is to establish routine that promotes stability. We promote routines that promote stability in your organizations. We have organizations where the first 30 minutes of the day is dedicated to the exercise, the workout and exercise. You can also imbibe this as a business owner for yourself. You know, exercise is great for the mental, it's great for mental health, it's great for your physical health. In fact, it's great for your spiritual health to ensure that you have those routines laid out to promote stability in your workplace, not just for you, but also for people that work around you, to ensure that you are intact. And another thing to help you gain control is that, thank God, we're in the time of AIs, right? There are different AI tools that are out there and they are free. You can just go on YouTube, you can go on Google and just search an AI that's related to what you do currently. And I can tell you for free that these tools work very well. They can help you for those that schedule meetings, for activities, for a lot of things. The AI tool can help you. You can use Teams, you can use time blocking AI tools, you can use AI to delegate, you can use it to automate. I mean, you can use it to regain control of your life and your businesses. I do understand that for small businesses, we sometimes are short-staffed. So you can use AI and technology for some of these things. And a lot of these tools are free. It's just that we do not have there's still AI ignorance in this part of the world. I'm sure maybe sometime down the line, NSCTF will consider, I mean, teaching business owners about how to, I mean, automate some certain part of their businesses using AI. It is very, very useful. Please, even after this session, you can put it down. I mean, you can just, for example, just type, let's say, for example, let me use catering, for example. AI tools that can help in my catering profession. Just put it there and you will see that a lot of things will come out that will help you to gain control of your business. And by doing this, you have more time to yourself, you delegate, you automate all of these processes. The third C is connection. You have to build and lean on support systems, right? You cannot do it on your own as a business owner. In Nigeria, we call it one-man business. No man can do anything on their own. In fact, if you can do it on your own, you will not be a business to start with. You will not be a business to start with. So learn to build it and lean on people. Get support. Get support if you have activities that you cannot do on your own. Learn to delegate. I know that there's a certain saying that says that the best way to get things done is to do it yourself. But I tell you, doing things yourself most times leads to burnout. So as a business owner, learn to delegate, learn to outsource a few things that you know that, oh, if I outsource this, it doesn't eat really much into my profit, but then it even makes my presentation and output greater. So please learn to get support from families, from friends, from colleagues, and also business owners alike. I'm sure you can join associations, you can join, I mean, like a platform like LSCTF too also gives great support, right? So these are ways that you can avoid burnout in your place of work. Then another thing is to avoid isolation. Isolation fuels burnout. I mean, human support is a buffer. You cannot overemphasize that. As a business owner, avoid isolation, because that's when you begin to think of, oh, this is. I know a lot of us have 5 years business plan, we have 12 months business plan, we have 10 years business plan. We hope that maybe by in 5 years time, I want to be like so organization, I want to be like, but then sometimes it doesn't work out the way we plan it. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way we plan it. So what we can do is to avoid isolation. Avoid isolation in those situations where it feels like the business is not really doing well. That's not the time to sit back in the corner of your room or just at your business and start thinking. No, it's not good for your mental health. As a business owner, that's the time to look for other human connections, to look for other human support and relate with people. Because I'm sure if you seek clarity or you seek advice from other business owners, you will know that for every business there's a challenge. In fact, not just challenge, there are several challenges. And I can tell you that as a business owner, you don't entirely overcome challenges. There's always one challenge after the other as a business owner. There's always one challenge after the owner or the other. The other one is to foster psychological safety in the workplace, right? Foster psychological safety in the workplace. I mean, that's why at for the formal sector, they have, I know there's usually team bonding activities. There's usually Friday hangouts. Please do adopt these systems to ensure that, I mean, there's a time to take care of yourself as a business owner. There's a time that you have appointed for yourself that, oh, I'm going to allocate this so amount to myself, that I am going to take care of myself. It helps your health as a business owner. There's a time where you say, okay, maybe in 12 months, 2 weeks out of 12 months, I want to go on vacation to stabilize my mental health. It is really important, and we have to prioritize this, especially as Nigerians. We know what our economic climate is saying, right? So we have to prioritize our mental health when it comes to this, and ensure that you have all of these things written out, how you want to go about that. I mean, 2 weeks, or let us say a week, if 2 weeks is too much, a week out of the 12 months that I work, I want to dedicate this 1 week to myself and maybe go on vacation, go for spa and relax. You can delegate most of these things, because I can tell you that everyone can be replaced. Also, a business owner can also be replaced. I mean, especially now that we have several people doing the same business. So please prioritize this and take out time to relax. Another thing is compassion. The fourth C is compassion. The first C is compassion. A lot of people, when we say compassion, they tend to think that compassion is when you have pity on other people. But compassion in this case is self-compassion. Compassion in this case is self-compassion. Acknowledge your limits without guilt. Know that this is my capacity. I cannot do more than this. Have compassion on yourself as a business owner. You cannot do everything on your own. Let me put it in this word: pity yourselves. Don't feel that I think I should be able to do more. No, pamper yourself and say, please, my name is Yase. Let me see. best at this point in time. So have compassion on yourself. It's not just having compassion on your co-workers or your customers who ask for, sometimes our customers tend to ask for the impossible. Even for us, some of our clients ask for things that are impossible. They ask for deadlines that cannot be met anywhere. So have compassion on yourself. Put yourself first. Prioritize your mental health. Have compassion on yourself and say, no, this I cannot do because I want to consider my mental health. It's really important. And also, we should practice mindfulness. You should practice mindfulness. By this, I will explain further. It means or journaling to tune in your emotional states. Be mindful. Be mindful. Be mindful. No, put a peg. Put a peg to know to your mental stress. Let me put that. Put a peg to your mental stress. That how do I explain this? So, for example, anything that makes me goes beyond my circle for help, I will not get it done. I will not do it. Right? It doesn't. I'm not saying that that is what you should do, but you should put a peg to things like that. You should practice mindfulness by just ensuring that anything that is going to make me do this, whatever is going to stress me to do this, I'm not going to do it. So once you put a peg to this, you realize that your mental health is fine. You are focused, you are more focused on the primary activities that will add value to your business and move you forward. Because you know, such deadlines do not come all the time. And once they come, there's burnout, and it necessarily does not push you to the next level of your business that you are expecting. We should also encourage empathy in leadership. People first, then performance follows, right? This is not just for team members, but also for yourself. You have to encourage empathy as a leader yourself. You first before performance. Myself first before performance. How am I doing first? Am I fine? Before you now think of how the organization is doing. Because I can tell you, if you are not there, the organization will continue. If you're not there, the organization will continue. But if you still have your mental health and your life, you can still continue on that business. You can diversify, you can do so many things, and even still take that business to greater heights. So please prioritize yourself first. Ensure that you encourage empathy on yourself to say that I want to put myself first, then after performance. So in whatever decisions that we're making in our different businesses and organizations, we must ensure that we encourage empathy in leadership. That's people first, then performance follows. The people's first, then performance follows. The last 5C, which is meant consistency. Consistency is the last 5C. It means mental health is not a one-time fix. It requires daily habits. You must do it all the time. Consistency means that you continue, you don't stop. Something that you do often. Prioritizing your mental health doesn't mean that, okay, because the month of May is being tagged the mental health month. You want to prioritize everything that you've heard in the month of May, everything that you've heard in the month of May, and then once it's June, you start again. No, it should be a daily habit. It should be a daily habit. Whatever you've written down, I'm giving you a challenge. I'm challenging all of us today, including myself, that from today you're going to write these things down. That these are the things. Think about these are the things that puts you under duress, that puts you under stress, and write it out that from today I am going to make a daily effort to fix these things that stresses my mental health, right? Prioritize sleep. Prioritize, please, let's sleep when it's time, because all of these has effect on us. In fact, sleep is more important than food. That is not to say that we should not eat regularly. Prioritize sleeping at the right time, and nutrition. You know, I mentioned that food, it's also very important. Ensure that you eat nutritional meals. It has effect on both our outlook and even mental health, and also emotional well-being, and the general well-being of our body. We should exercise often, maybe dedicate the first 30 minutes of the day to exercise. Some people dedicate the last hours of the day to exercise so that they can rest well. We should also do digital detox. This is very important, especially for business owners who have large followership. there's a lot of, we know what happens on social media, there's a lot of trolls online, and then you begin to think about things. I once saw a post someday, and I think it was one of those celebrities. She went after a troll that usually drops 8 comments on her page, and she realized that it was a boy. The boy is one, less than 18. It was a security, he's a security guard, and even he can hardly afford to even subscribe for internet. So imagine, then she says she now imagine that she cannot even arrest this boy because is not even of of legal age. And she's right there thinking about, oh, I must arrest this person. But then when she got to meet the person, she realized that it's just a minor and does not even have the capacity. So we must realize that what we see on social media, 99% of it is not real. So we should have digital detox too. Let's have a time where we drop our phones and everything and relax ourselves. And relax ourselves. And also, let's learn to celebrate ourselves. Let's learn to celebrate those small wins. One thing, if you make a single sale, please learn to celebrate it. Let's celebrate it. Of course, for every sale there's profit, and for those that there's no profit, as far as there's a sale, celebrate it. Those small wins, when you celebrate yourself, it has impact on our mental health. Most times it has impact on our mental health. And so I'm just going to move on practical tips for business leaders, right? Let's normalize mental health conversations. Let's normalize mental health conversations. When we tend to talk about things, we when we talk about things, we tend to overcome it 50%. Talk about your mental health with a friend, with your partners, with your family members, and say, oh, I'm fine, this is what is wrong with me. When you share, you reduce the burden on yourself. You reduce the burden on yourself. Let's not just internalize everything. Let's set boundaries and respect. Just set boundaries and know that for this, I mean, I've mentioned this earlier. These are just things that you can do, practical steps to ensure that you prioritize your mental health. Set boundaries, set boundaries, set boundaries. I cannot overemphasize this. Set boundaries to ensure that your mental health is not disturbed. You know that once, if a business owner and you have several people working with you, please delegate. Set boundaries to know that these functions, I'm not going to be involved in it. This is this person's office. I am not going to do this job for this person. Delegate, delegate, and set boundaries. Celebrate for different people. Let everyone know their, let them know what their job is. Let them know what their job description is. And once you have paid people to do their, once you've paid people, you've employed people, please allow them do their job. Do not do the jobs of your employee or the activities of your employees for them. This has an adverse effect on your mental health because you would want to do everything by yourself. I do understand the reflex as a business owner to want to do everything by yourself, but please ensure that you set that boundary that no, I am not going to do this, because as your business grows, there are certain things that you will also outgrow as a business owner. Let's say, for example, you're a caterer, and let me go back to that example as a caterer, and later on as a caterer you opened up a restaurant or you have a food chain. When you were doing this at home, you would wash the plates yourself. But at a restaurant level, you do not have to do those things yourself again. You have, those are the activities now that you have to delegate. So as a business owner, we must know that as we grow too in our business, we have to delegate some activities to our colleagues and those that work with us. And also, not just as business owners, for people that work with us, so that there will be no burnout. Let's lead by example. Let's lead by example. Let's take breaks. As I've said this earlier on, I mean, disconnect. That's why we have team bonding. If you have, it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something big. It might be something that you can afford. If it's just taking your team members or people that work with you to a small restaurant to just talk about how the job is going, how is work, ask about their mental health, and then give them the opportunity to also ask about you too. If you are a one-man business, you can do this with friends and family. Have a time where you go out with them to just talk about your mental health and how business is going for you. This helps a lot. So I hope that we're going to take practical steps to doing this. Burnout is not a badge of honor, right? Saying that, oh, I'm stressed, I'm tired. No, burnout is not a badge of honor. What it does is that it shortens the lifespan of business owners. And you realize that the business will still continue. If the business does not continue with you, somebody else can do the business. So being said, running yourself out and having burnout, it's not flex. I'll put it like that. It's not flex. Please prioritize rest, prioritize your mental health is really important. And you need to know that the healthiest leaders build the healthiest businesses and they build the healthiest team. If you are healthy as a business owner, it will reflect in your business. It will reflect on other members of your team because you will also, as much as you prioritize your own mental health, you prioritize that too, and you prioritize the overall well-being and health and state of your company, either financial or economical. That's one. And so those are the few points that I have today. I don't know if you have questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Yemisi. So do we have questions? I'm very sure we all have one or two things to ask. Do we have questions? We have the Q&A available. So while we wait for questions, I'll be launching two polls. It's very important that we please fill these polls, and this will help us know where to serve you better here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. So the first poll has been launched. Please do me well to please fill this poll. Thank you. So please, do we have questions? We have the Q&A box available for you to drop your questions. Or maybe I start from, were we all able to follow what Madam Yemisi has said? Please, can I get a response in the chat box, please? Or can we all hear me? Can we hear me? Because I can't seem to get a response. Oh, thank you, Fatima. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So do we have questions? Do we have questions? Madam Yemisi is here to ask our questions, answer our questions, because as business owners, sometimes, just like she said, sometimes we probably somewhere in our minds feel we can do it all. And in this day and age, we cannot overemphasize the importance of our mental health. It goes a long way in helping us to be productive. Okay, Abdul Kudus, I can't really understand them. Please, um, can you um help me understand what your question is? I can see how can we differential business. Please, can you please help me understand what your question is? Thank you. So as business owners, we really cannot underestimate the importance of our mental health because whether we like it or not, our mental health goes a long way in helping us be productive even in our business. You like the saying goes, health is wealth. And I believe that even I don't want to say basic health, like I don't think if we are having a headache or if we're having malaria, I don't think there's so much that we'll be able to do to function. That is you on, let's say, in the physical way. I don't think there's much you'd be able to do to function, let alone your mental health, your 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 brain as it is where I can say a whole lot of the ideas, a whole lot of the thinking. Okay, what do I do to help my business grow? What are the next steps that I think I need to take? Um, who are those that I think I need to hire? All of these things. And if as a business owner you're not um right mentally, you've not taken care of yourself to take out time to say, okay, I think I need to rest. I think I need to take out time to just for some me time. I don't think there's any crime in having a me time as a business owner, which is one of those things that Madam Missy tried to state out here for us. So please, do we have questions?
So let's take the
Okay.
question before we go to the
Okay, so I
question.
have, yeah. So Abdul Qudus is saying, like someone that's into POS distribution, we have a lot of agents that do that. So how do we sell the product?
Please take the question again.
Okay, I think what the person is saying, I think you were saying that I think somewhere along the discussion, you mentioned that there's going to be other people that are doing the kind of business that you do. So I think what the person is saying that someone into POS,
Mhm.
that here in Nigeria we all know that there are a whole lot of POS agents
Mhm.
all around. So how do you, as a POS agent, sell what you do? As in, how do you sell your own as being a POS agent? How do you sell that product?
Okay. Thank you. So as a POS agent, we know how common POS terminal is around us. I mean, every nook and cranny of Lagos, because that's where I stay, we can find POS terminals. But how do you make yourself distinctive? The first thing, I mean, this is, yes, it's still mental, but let's digress a little. When it comes to sales and selling more, there are only two things that you can do. It's either you have unique product or you have a unique price point. That is the only thing that you can do to sell well. And we know when it comes to unique products, that is out of it when it comes to POS terminals because they all perform almost the same function, if not the same function. Now, unique pricing, that is where this comes to play, right? For unique pricing, because I'm not sure, but I think that the POS business is somewhat regulated among the POS operators. I think they now have an association where there are certain price points that they must not go past or they must, but I can tell you that you can reduce a little because if we have vendors who sell recharge card for 10 naira profits, it means that you can also get top agents who will earn maybe 10 naira, 5 naira, 20 naira on some transactions where you also have, but do not ensure that it doesn't cut into the costs. Just be able to share a little out of your profit and have sub agents who will also do this right for you. So it's important that those are ways by which you can delegate. Just, I mean, we must be willing to let go of, I mean, just a little fraction of our profit. It's just because we as business owners, we want to keep all the profits to ourselves. And do realize that the financial gain is nothing compared to the mental burnout. It's nothing compared to the mental breakdown. The effect of the mental burnout far outweighs the the reverse effect far outweighs the financial gain, right? Before we finish this session, I would also take practical steps on how to get mental stability. But I just wanted this, I mean, for us to have, break sessions for us to be able to ask this question. So those are ways by which you can delegate. Just let go of a little fraction of your profit for your mental health. I hope this answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam MC, for answering that. Just while you were speaking, there was a scenario that crossed my mind. So, you were talking about delegation, trying to delegate, and you know, there's some business owners that go about saying, "Oh, I think I can. It's only when I do this myself that I can be satisfied." So, how do business owners that? Because I think one of those things that has been common knowledge for business owners these days is sometimes they get maybe salespeople, salespersons to help run their businesses, maybe when they're not around, and they have sales girls, sales boys, and in some of these instances, you hear of instances where um, salespersons are diverting funds that are meant for the business. Probably, I've heard of a specific scenario where the man actually had a girl, run his business, and she had a POS that was meant for the business and our own personal POS. And in that kind of scenario, um, it was just by chance that he walked in on her receiving payment meant for the business into her POS. So how does that kind of person handle this kind of thing? Because a lot of business owners will tell you, you can't get people to run the business, and there's nobody that trustworthy these days. So how do they, you know, walk around these things so that they can also ensure that there's no neglect in the business while also trying to take care of their mental health? Okay,
Okay.
we can't hear you. Okay.
Yes, you can. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. You know, I mentioned that earlier that there are different tools that we have in recent time that can help you ensure that the business is running smoothly, right? They are different for business owners who are afraid that, oh, when they are not there, their businesses might not run fine. You can install cameras. That's why I say we have to let go of some we have this method has little financial implication. If you know that, oh, you don't have the funds to instantly drop for CCTV cameras, there's an institution like LSCTF, for example, who gives out loans and every other thing that you can use to fund all of their CCTV cameras that you can install, their AI tools. Just put in the systems. Once the systems are in place, that you ensure that your businesses are going, it will help us, our business to run smoothly based on this technology and AI tools that we can put in place and will help us perfectly. Hope this answers the question.
Thank you so much, Madam MC. I can see Tosin Lawson has a question. Please, can you drop your question in the Q&A box? Please drop your question in the Q&A box and it will be attended to. So while we wait for more questions, please can I get more people to please fill the poll? Thank you, please. I need more people to fill this poll. This goes a long way to helping us serve you better. So for those that have questions, please you can drop your questions in the Q&A box. Taufikat is asking, my question is, how can someone hire help when the few available hands cannot manage the workload, leaving the employee to 99% of the job or the employer to 99% of the job?
Thank you. So Another thing, please train. Let's learn, please train your staff. Most likely, they've not been trained to manage those tasks. And please, let's put system in place. Put system in place. If I am going to have employees and still get the job done, then why are they employees? You are employed to get a task done. You are employed because there's a gap. They are employees because there are things that you cannot do on your own. So please, let's imbibe the culture of training and retraining, constant training and retraining of staff members to ensure that they have the capacity. Let's just not conclude that, oh, they cannot get this thing done, right? If you put them to the test, they most likely, maybe, might not get it done. But then once we train them, let's imbibe the culture of training and retraining staff members to ensure that they are as perfect as the employer themselves. Another thing is the owner mindset. Let's ensure that we imbibe the culture of ownership into all our employees, that this business is for you. It is not just for me as your employer, but also for you, because the success of this organization is your success. So that's why I said that not just our own mental health, we should prioritize mental health of our team members, to those are our workers and our employees. Because if I know that the organization cares about me, they care about my personal life, not just my work life, I would want to ensure that the organization moves forward. So please, I mean, not be beyond the work relationship. Let's try to ensure that there's work-life balance with our employees too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I hope your question has been answered, Taufikat. So I have another question here from Tosi. And Tosin is asking that when it's not a security issue that the CCTV camera cannot handle, how do you put proper procedures that that your staff will follow? That is, how do you monitor that they're doing things the right way?
Thank you. I mentioned this earlier, and I mean, I don't know what business line Tosin is in. I would have loved to, I mean, relate it directly with a tool that not just with CCTV. There are several tools that are out there. You just need to search for it. I can tell you, in fact, there are things that keeps coming out every day. New innovations, new inventions keep coming out every day. Faster ways to get things done. Just search for these tools, they are available. Put a system in place that ensures or near perfection, if not perfection. Let there be a system in place that is near perfection, that regardless of if you have CCTV or not, activities still go on. I don't know what kind of business you run, but if you are in a business that has to do with finance, let's say, for example, let me take the POS person. Per transaction, you know the amount you should fetch. Those systems should be in place. If the account doesn't balance, you know that things are not in place, and the person has to give account of the activities of the day. So once the right systems are in place, regardless of CCTV or not, everything will just go well. And there are tools, there are different technologies, there are AI tools, there are innovations that are being released every day. You just have to look for it. You just have to look for it. If you do not know what you need, you will not get it. If you have a particular problem that or a particular challenge in your business, just put it out there and say AI tool for this particular challenge and see what it brings out for you. Aside AI tools, there are also professionals. I'm sure you're not the only one in that sector. Look out for people who are in that same sector and are doing it successfully, and ask them questions. How have they run those businesses, or how are they running those businesses successfully? And the challenge that you are currently having, how have they overcome it? I think this will also help. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam. me see. So I have another question here. So I think a follow-up from Tosin's question is, how do you track KPIs, Excel sheets, softwares, and what practical software or tools can be used to endure what needs to be done in the right way every time? I think you've already answered that, but if you'd like to shed more light.
Okay, just as I said, every sector is peculiar. Every industry have tools that are unique to them. The tools that I've used to track KPI in my own daily work might not be useful for you. Just as I've said earlier on, you just have to look for those tools. They are available and they are out there. In the sector where you operate, there are businesses who have gone further than you. You can consult them, you can seek advice from them on how they get it done. There are tools that you can engage. You can consult from businesses who have done it better in the same sector where you operate. So that's just it from me. Thank you.
Okay, Lucy, I hope your question has been answered. So Abdul Kudus is asking that how do you that Abdul Kudus would like you to explain how to set boundaries in business, like customer service team. How can you support them when there are a lot of customers?
Okay, so this was supposed to be part of my practical tactics, but let me say one ask for you. This falls under control. It says say no to overcommitment. As a customer service person, if you run a 9 to 5, as a business person, if you run a 9 to 5, ensure that your inquiry time is 9 to 5. And if you want to run a 24-hour inquiry or chatbot, ensure that their automatic responses, their AI, their AI bots that you have trained to respond to customers. You can put that in place. In fact, there are certain tools for that that are even free. And we'll just notify you as a message. Maybe the next day compiles every one of it. And you can train it to answer certain questions. Then when it gets to the really difficult ones that the AI cannot answer, or it has not been asked before, then it can pop out to you as a message. And you can even have that it should notify you of any message that it cannot treat after certain hours. It can be after when work starts, first thing the next day. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But one thing the customer knows is that he or she has been responded to. It might not be solution, but then they know that, oh, the organization has acknowledged and the customer service is on top of that situation. And it's not too late for you to respond to that inquiry or to sort whatever it is first thing the next day. So I think that answers your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Yemisi, for answering that question. And I hope Abdul Kudus, I hope that answers your question. For Mr. Menike, so be on the lookout for messages from our team. They would definitely send you a message as to the reason why your application was not successful. So please just be on the lookout for a message from our team. Thank you. I have a question here. So Abdul Kudus, I can see you asking to explain KYC in business. I know KYC is know your customer, so I don't know if you want a breakdown on that or if you can just further let us know. For Abigail is asking that so when starting a business, one needs to be consistent with what he or she is doing, even when the customers are just few, because one is a startup. But at what point does one realize that this is a bad business and that business is not scalable?
At the point where you start asking your questions, if this is a bad business and it's not scalable, I think you should do your visibility study and get out of the business. I mean, not really get out of the business, just diversify. You can diversify, right? Once you know that this business, because as business owners, I will not advise that you close down the business abruptly and then go. It will have a very bad, I mean, effect on your mental. It will have a very, I mean, so what you should do is to analyze, do an analysis, you should have a business analysis every week to know how the business is doing. What milestone have you met in the new week or in the new month? How are you doing? And if after, let's say, 6 months, give yourself a 6 months timeline to see where you are coming from and where you are currently, and where you are currently. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial, but then if there's improvement and you know you can see the green light that this business is moving forward. But if not, another thing to do is to diversify. It is not too, it is never too late to diversify. It is not too late to add another, I mean, arm to your business, right? You can look for complementing business and add it to what you have in existence. As I want to cite an example. As sorry, I'm using the food business. I just want to be consistent, right? As a person who owns a restaurant, the food business is not really moving well. You can diversify, not necessarily, you can diversify and into the beverage part of consumables. You can either become a supplier of beverages. You can tell your customers or your clients, if you have parties, I supply drinks, all of these things. This will help you. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, oh, this business is not doing fine, I want to shut it down. So at those points where you see that your business is not doing fine, look for complementing business line to diversify into, right? But always do a 6 month analysis to say where were we and where are we now, to help you to know if you have to shut it down, diversify, or move into another sector entirely. Thank you. I hope this answers your question.
Mm, I should believe, Abigail, I trust that answers your question. So Abdul Kudus said he would like a breakdown on KYC in business.
Okay. So, I mean, KYC in business is know your customer. And we also have something called KYB. That's, I mean, know your business. This is for B2B, but in this case, KYC. So KYC is for you to know your customer, who they are, how to better relate with them, what challenges will they be having, or in some cases, when it is financial, when it has financial implications, financial dealings, you want to ensure that if there's any issues and we have the authorities coming, you have the correct details to be able to run that kind of. So that's what KYC, and usually it contains your name, your address, I mean, and possible questions that relate to your line of business, because KYC differ from one organization to the other. It differs from one sector to the other. The same KYC that will be applicable in the financial institution might not be the same KYC that will be available, I mean, that will be provided for the entertainment industry. So there are different KYCs relating to the line of business, I mean, and the sector where you operate. But it is know your
Okay,
customer, having
I think he's
details
asking
about your
for
customer.
KYC in agents banking.
Okay, if you need KYC in agent banking, that will be sent to you. Is a form that contains most of the details, sometimes financial details of these clients that you are engaging with. So you should reach out to LSCTF and they will in turn reach out to us at our bar and will provide you for the KYC form for agent banking. I hope this answers your question.
The coders, I hope that answers your question. So do we have any more questions? So while we wait for other questions, okay, thank you. So while we wait for other questions, Madam MC, I think I overheard you saying that you had a second section, so I don't think we have questions for now. So
Okay, thank you. So, I mean, they're just practical ways for us to, to build mental stability, right? And so the part starts every week. The first one is falls under the first C, which is clarity. I want us to start from starting from this week. I know today is Wednesday, but it's not late. Start every week by defining your top three priorities. What are the top three priorities? Ask yourself what matters most. Once you write that those three things down, what matters most. So ensure that whatever you do in that week will be tailored to those three things. It really helps us a lot. I mean, there's a certain quote that said, when you have clarity, decisions become easier and distractions become obvious. At that point, you know that this is a distraction and this is what will help me. Another example, maybe for me as a CEO, I can block out Mondays for strategic thinking. I might say for Mondays, I don't want meetings, I just want strategic thinking. I mean, clarity first, then execution second. Make sure that you have clarity first before you now begin to. So every week, write out three things that are priority for your business. It is very, very important. Another thing is to say no. I've said that before. I mean, build boundaries. I mean, for example, you can say no emails after 7 p.m. No emails after 7 p.m. Another exercise is to ask your audience, what's one area in your life you've lost control over, right? For control, just ask yourself, what's one area in your life that you have lost control over? Maybe since I started this, maybe before I used to have 30 minutes exercise every day. Ask yourself, what's one area of my life that I have lost control over since I started this business? I want you to write, begin to write all of these things down. These are practical exercises that you can take. And what, after you have asked yourself that, write one action that you can take this week to regain that thing. What is one action that you can take to regain control? I mean, in my business, I've stopped doing exercises for 30 minutes. Write it down again. How do I ensure that I get that 30 minutes workouts again? So, these are practical steps. That's on control, right? And another one for community, peer support groups. What are the groups that what activities do you think that usually helps you elevate your spirit when you engage in those activities? What you can do is look for practical groups, but you have to be careful with this. You have to look for practical groups that engage in these activities regularly, and take steps to join. And be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Don't say, oh, I have to be on guard. They have to know that I am the guard. No, it doesn't have to be that. It's okay to have burnout. It's okay to show that you are tired. I said earlier that you should have you should have compassion on yourself. I want you to replace I have to with I get to, right? Don't say I have to do this, I have to get this done. It is not. Business is not a do or die affair. Replace it practically in your mind that, oh, I have to. I know when we're writing our business plans and when we have our, especially in the new year, where we have our New Year resolution. I want to get no. Because I get to do this. Means that if you don't get it, it is fine. If you don't get to do it, it is fine. Begin to change the way you write things down, things that you want to do. Once you make mistakes, learn from them. This will help us. We have to take control of our mental health without guilt, without guilt, without guilt all the time. And the last one, which is consistency and is important, is that we should have morning rituals. The morning rituals, what will you be doing every morning when you wake up? What's the first thing you will do the first 30 minutes when you wake up? What are you going to be doing? It helps us a lot. Another one, we can also have evening routines. Evening wind downs. It means that before I sleep, maybe you take your own first 30 minutes of the day exercise to the last 30 minutes of your day to ensure that Once you are doing exercise, your body knows that after this exercise, I go to bed. These are practical steps to help us in our mental health. Another thing is journaling gratitude, writing down what you have achieved. I can start my own journaling attitude today and say that I'm happy I achieved this today. Taking a session on mental health with LSETF and business owner. This is an achievement. Write it as an achievement. You will see that it reflects on your mental outlook. It reflects on what you begin to do because you say, "Oh, I have achieved something great today." It doesn't have to be something extraordinary, but just ensure that you write it down. It's really important. And just as I said, the last one, please have weekly disconnect. Ensure that you have some time to yourself to just unwind. It is very, 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 very important. It is very, very important. And I also want us, this is just for yourselves, is a practical session. Just rate yourself from the 4 C's. That's from the 4 C to the 5 C, and ask yourself which one of them are you thriving in and which one needs attention. Which one of them are you thriving in and which one needs attention? From clarity, from control to connection, compassion, and consistency. How are you doing in this 1 to 5 C's? Rate yourself and write it down. Rate yourself and write it down. And ask yourself which one of these am I thriving in and which one needs attention. This will help you moving forward on how to get a better mental health. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Madam MC. I'm very sure all of our participants here would agree with me that this session has been um, eye-opening and it's been very, very insightful and interactive. So um, I think I noted down some of the things that Madam Yemisi spoke about when she was speaking, and she said to write 3 things that are important for your business, as in most, what matters most for your business. She also said, what area in your life have you lost control? Then you can just sit back, write down these things. I think journaling and writing down a whole lot of these things will help us put things in perspective a lot. Also, she spoke about learning to take control of our mental health without guilt. Don't feel guilty that you need a rest, whether you like it or not. Like I said earlier, health is wealth, and your mental health forms a part of that health that is wealth. Because if you're not able to function properly mentally, I don't think you'd have a whole lot of output to put into your business. Madam MC also said to have a morning routine, have a morning and an evening routine. I think both goes hand in hand. Have a morning routine and have an evening routine. If you're able to follow all of this without missing out on anything, I think it goes a long way. Um, she also said we should write down the things that we've achieved. I think writing out the things that you've achieved, as in, there are times, even without being a business owner, there are times you sit down and then you ask yourself, okay, have I achieved anything today? And until you sit down and probably begin to write down, okay, this was what I did today, this is what I did today. As in, probably maybe at the beginning of your day, you could have your to-dos to write down, okay, this is what I aim to do today. And as you achieve each, you can tick them off and say, okay, I've been able to achieve this today. I've been able to achieve that today. And I think it will help a whole lot with the writing down part where you write down what you've achieved today. And that would also help with your mental health. And Madam MEC has also said um, weekly, we should have some time to ourselves, have some time to disconnect, weekly disconnect, have time where you say, okay, this particular period, I don't want to do anything. At least, like she said, you have you have a whole lot of tools that can help you, automate a whole lot of things when it comes to your businesses. And I think having all of these tools would help you tell yourself, okay, I think it will afford you the time to be able to say, yes, I have time in which I can say, okay, I need to disconnect and, put yourself first. Put yourself first because it goes a long way in how you're able to, have output, in your businesses. It's not just um it really doesn't benefit anyone if you put everything in and at the end of the day you break down. So this is why we bring sessions such as this to you to not just help you. Yes, we know that money is important, but then if you are not in the right frame of mind, if you're not in the right place mentally, I don't think is wise when you make the money and then all you're spending it on is trying to get your mind right or trying to get your health right. So this is why we bring sessions like this to you, so you learn how to, create the right balance for you and also for your business. So thank you so much, Madam Nancy. Today has been a very, very insightful session. Abdul Kudus, I can see you asking how you can get the KYC form. Just like Madam Yemisi said, we'll be reaching out to them. They'll be sharing with us this KYC form, which will be um, sharing with you at the end of this session. So thank you everyone for being present today at today's session. I want to believe that we don't have any more questions. If we do have the questions, we have the Q&A. Madam Mimisi is here to answer all of your questions. And thank you to everyone that's filled the poll that is on your screen. Thank you so much to everyone that's filled the poll. We really appreciate your feedback, as this feedback goes a long way in helping us serve you better. Thank you so much to everyone that's filled the feedback, the polls on your screen. In the absence of any other question, I'd like to appreciate Madam Yemisi for taking our time off her busy schedule to facilitate today's session. I'm very sure everyone on this session has just so I'm not just speaking on behalf of you all. Can we all show our appreciation to Madam Yemisi in the chat box and let us show our appreciation to Madam Yemisi, let her know that we actually have taken a whole lot out from this session, because even I might not be a business owner, but I sure can I can assure you that I've learned also a lot, because I believe all of these steps and practices don't just apply to you as a business owner alone. Even as an individual, you can also find ways to apply all of the things that you've learned today. So, Madam Yemsi, I'm very sure we have people saying thank you so much for the session. We have a whole lot of people appreciating you for the session. So we'd like to appreciate you for taking out time off your busy schedule to okay, Ibrahim, you have a question. Please, if you have a question, can you drop it in the chat box? I can see your hands are raised. So please, if you have a question, please do drop it in the chat box. So Madam Emisi, we have a whole lot of thank yous from all our participants today, and I'm very sure they've all learned a whole lot from these sessions. So you can join us for our next session. We'll be having our next session next week, Tuesday. That is the 27th of May 2025. And next week's session promises to be another insightful one. You don't want to miss the session next week. And we'll be speaking on building a strong online presence using the storefront strategy. So I'm very sure you don't want to miss out on this next session, and do well to ensure that you join the next session, because I'll be posting the link to register for this session in the chat box so you don't miss out on that. Like I said earlier, my name is Omotayo Akinmi. I'm being the moderator on this session, and would like to. So I've dropped the link for the next session, which is coming up on the 27th, in the chat box. Click on it, register so you don't miss out on the next session. So Madam Yemisi, just before we round off, are there any last words you'd like to share with our participants today?
Okay, I think I just saw in the chat box someone is asking that I go through the 5 C's again. So that's just what I wanted to respond to. I'm just going to call out the I'm just going to call out the 5 C's without, necessarily. So first one is clarity, the second one is control, the third one is connection, the fourth one is compassion, and the fifth one is consistency. I hope that's gotten right. And so I'm going to leave you with this, that burnout doesn't mean that you are broken. It means that you are human, right? So always acknowledge it. Burnout doesn't mean that you're broken. It means that you are human. And then if you're burnt out, you can rejuvenate and revive and come out better. So I hope that we don't allow ourselves to fall into depression, because if we don't take care of our mental health, it leads to depression. Depression leads to so many ailments like stroke and every other thing, and that means it also leads to death. But I know that that will not be our portion. Thank you, and I hope that I'll come on different sessions with this business owner sometime soon again. Thank you, Motayo, for this session.
Thank you so much. So just like Madam MC has said, she said burnout doesn't mean you are broken. It only means you're what? You're human. So thank you so much everyone for joining us for today's session. And we look forward to having you at our next session. You don't want to miss any of our sessions that we'll be having next subsequently after this. And so for those that probably joined us halfway or probably missed out on some of the points that join us either halfway or very late, and you'd like a recap of all of the things that we've said here today, you can go to our YouTube channel at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and you would find the recording to this session, and not just this session, you also find the recording to every other sessions that we've had before today. It promises is all of our sessions that we've had this year so far has been packed, and you would definitely learn a whole lot from all of these capacity building opportunities and sessions that we have for you. And just like I mentioned earlier, we are presently running our MSME bootcamp. So for those that are in a pair and its environs, or if you know someone who is in a pair who has a small and a medium scale business that would like to that would benefit from acquiring the necessary skills and knowledge that they need to help take their business to the next level, I think you should register for our MSME bootcamp. I think I'll be dropping that link also in the chat box now, so that those that are interested in registering for our MSME bootcamp can click on the link and register for the MSME bootcamp. It promises, it's a 1 month program. You'd learn a lot. You learn a whole lot from bookkeeping, putting the right structures to your business, and all of the likes. You would learn a whole lot. So I have dropped the link to apply for the MSME bootcamp if you're in Ekpe, if you're even in Ikorodu, because we're having Ikorodu next, that is in July. Or if you're in Ekpe, we're coming to Ekpe in June, and you don't want to miss this bus as it's about takeoff. So if you know you're in Ekpe and you'd like to join our MSM bootcamp program, I've dropped the link in the chat box. You can click on the link to apply for our MSM bootcamp. So follow us on all our social media platforms. If you like to acquire a skill, follow us on all our social media platforms to get the link to apply for those that are looking for the employability. Um, all our employability programs go to you can also visit our website, that is www.lsctf.ng. You can visit our website and you'd find the different programs and how you can apply for them. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time from your busy schedules to attend today's session. Thank you to Miss Madam MC also once again. We are looking forward to having you at at another session down the line. So thank you everyone, and do